Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much for coming. So today we're going to talk about something that can often take hours a day if you don't know how to do it in the ways that it can be done now, and that's managing social media. And now in 2026, you can hand almost all of it over to AI. So I'm going to ask you guys some questions here, and you can answer with your microphones or in the chat, whichever you prefer. So in terms of your own social media, how many of you are doing it yourself? Actually, I'm going to give you a code here. If you're doing it yourself, use the number 1 in the chat. If you are paying others to do it, it's number 2. If you're automating it, it's number 3. And if you're not doing any at all, it's 0. I just want to get a feel for where everyone's at. Okay, so far, a lot of do it yourself, a couple of not doing it, more do it yourself. Nobody paying others to do it.
Tony, I think you do it yourself is most effective. I don't think AI is more effective than personal, because if I cater to you, for example, I'm not going to cater with genes. I cater to you with AI, for example. I think it's the best. AI cannot come close to anything what a human can do.
That was certainly true last year and the year before. But I'm going to show you tonight some things that have changed. And even then, you may not want to use it, and that's totally fine. But these days, it can absolutely be trained to speak as you. Okay, so mostly what it seems like, mostly people are doing it themselves. Okay, now the thing is that I don't know how much time that's taking you, but it's a lot of time that you could be available to you for other things. And the businesses and the creators who start automating their social media using what's available now will have a pretty massive advantage over those who wait. The question has reached the point of it isn't whether to do it, it's how soon you're going to start. Just a very quick thing for those of you who don't know me or know anything about why I might know anything about AI. I'm just going to give you a very quick couple of minutes background on that, and then we'll get into the main meat. So how I got into AI was about 30 years ago when the internet was just text and blue links. And if you got lucky, a picture, we decided to build actually a 3D virtual reality world in which people could immerse themselves all over the world and interact. And of course, this was completely impossible with the slow modems back then, but we pulled it off because we developed a lot of heavy compression techniques. And so people would come across this screen, which was animated and had sound and music and all sorts of stuff. And they go, what on earth is this? And they'd go in, they'd join and find they really liked it. And they'd tell their friends. The next thing we knew, we had a problem. It was a good problem and a bad problem. The good problem was we had 1,000 new people joining every day, flooding 100 chat rooms. And the bad part was that we couldn't be in 100 chat rooms answering all the questions that new people flooding into a new community tend to do. And I'd heard about AI, and I was pretty late because this was like 1998, I think. And AI had already been around for 40 or more years. And I thought, I wonder if we could create what I guess we'd call a chatbot to sit in those 100 rooms simultaneously and answer all those questions. And it turned out we could. And here she is up at the top, Mina. She became really popular, developed a sense of humor and a personality, and had a lot to do with the fact that we grew to 1.3 million members. And so we got a lot of international press because we were doing something that was really revolutionary and different. And because I have a background in communities and I love communities and AI, and I was meeting so many people on my seminars who wanted to know, what is this AI? How can I use it? Please explain it in everyday English. So I created a community to help everyday people learn AI. So AI now does researching, writing, designing, and doing the posting. Because the main things, those are the 4 main steps involved in social media posting. And the average business owner spends 6+ hours per week on social media content alone, and that's the average. So some are spending a lot more, some are spending a lot less. Raise your hand if you've ever sat down to write a post and ended up staring at a blank screen for 10 or 20 minutes. Yeah, you're not alone. Research shows that that's a very common phenomenon these days. And that's even before, and the 6 hours average is even before you count the time scheduling, replying, checking analytics, But what if we could change that? Imagine waking up and your social media has already been researched, written, designed, and scheduled while you slept. That's what I'm going to show you today. And just for Michael, I would have nothing to do with this until this point, when it got to the point where it could actually sound human, because up until now, that hasn't been the case. Okay, so
I know you, Tony. That's why I'm here, because you're the only human that can technology and human. You're not just human or technology. That's why you're so good. I tell you.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought he was AI.
So did I. What happened? I did too.
I tell you, I work now months with Notebook every day, 7 hours. It is.
You really do have to train it on you. You really do. And there's actually a friend of mine who's developed a technique. I'll actually send it to you, because what it does, it's an interview. It takes probably 2 to 3 hours for you to give it all the information about you that
Okay.
it needs. Once it knows you, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Thank you.
you bet. Every automated system has 4 steps. 1, research, find what to talk about. 2, think, decide what to say. 3, create, write and design it. And 4, publish, posting it all over the place. And so the first job of the system is to figure out what to post about. Instead of you scrolling through news sites and social feeds every morning, the AI does that for you. It reads industry news, checks what's trending, and identifies topics your audience will care about, because it's trained on your audience and what you care about and how you like to communicate about those things. Research agents typically use, actually, I'm not going to go into this, a little bit too technical, but they use some pretty sophisticated tools to do this, and they get feeds from industry publications and social media conversations, and they go all over the web to find what you've asked them to find. Yeah, so you can do this 24 hours a day. The one I particularly love is some of his Manus, and Manus has come to know me really well. But he surprised me this afternoon, because I'm creating a sizzle reel video for a guy who works with a lot of celebrities, and we had Manus write the script, and he wrote a brilliant script for it. And I was just about to download the script, and when Manus said to me, "Hey, would you like me to edit the video for you?"
How do you spell Manus?
Manus.
M again?
I tell you what, I'm going to put in the chat an invitation that will get you 500 free credits for trying it out. And you'll see there how to spell it. Okay, it's in the chat now. Okay, so moving on. Yeah, so Manus kind of surprised me, because he said, "Hey, would you like me to edit it and add the transcript, the transitions and the effects and everything?" And I've been working with AI for a long time, and I had no idea it could do that. And it did. And I went, whoa, this is interesting. And it knew exactly what I wanted, because it knew me. So a lot of the tools that AI will use to do those steps, Perplexity is a typical one that it uses to search the web, but it's got a toolbox of lots of different tools. It can also use Google Trends to spot what people are searching for. And then the second step is the AI decides what's worth posting. Now, not every trend is right for your brand, so that's why it needs to know you and your brand. The AI filters and selects based on your rules and what's important to you. You tell it your brand's personality, who your audience is, what topics are off limits. It then intelligently decides which trends and news items are a good fit for you and your audience. And part of that is making sure it sounds like you. So yeah, it learns to sound like you, at least the new ones do. Set your tone once, every post sounds consistent forever, your voice, your brand. And this is pretty new, as Michael can attest. It's been pretty bad up until now. But the third phase it goes into is it writes the posts, and it writes them for every platform. LinkedIn, which is a different kind of post than Instagram, and different than X, and different from Facebook. It doesn't just write one post. It takes a single idea and transforms it to be right for that platform. So a LinkedIn post will be longer and more professional, while an X post will be short and punchy. An Instagram caption will have the right hashtags and a visual hook. The AI understands these nuances and rewrites the same core message to fit each platform perfectly. But a great post isn't just words, it also needs a great image. And ignore these images here. I didn't have time to put in good images. It put in typical AI images, which is actually not what it does these days. It does so much better. It used to be that AI images were pretty bad and didn't look realistic, but now they can match generic stock photos and even beat them and look just as real.
Oh.
And a common worry is, that AI images look fake or weird. That was true a couple of years ago, but in 2026, the best AI image tools produce images that are just Very good. And unlike stock photos, they can be unique to your brand, ensuring that your visuals always stand out. So, with all this heavy lifting, do you lose control? Absolutely not. Here's the part that surprises a lot of people. The best automated systems still have a moment where a human reviews the content before it goes live. Not to rewrite it usually, at least maybe at first to rewrite it, but as it learns, and it learns fast, as it gets better and better, you reach a point where you say, hey, I don't even need to check this anymore. I know it's going to be great. But the first week might not be that way. But anyway, you glance at it and click approve. Takes about 60 seconds, gives you peace of mind that nothing embarrassing is going to go out. Yeah, once approved, we move into the final phase. And I'm going to show you 3 very distinct ways of doing systems for doing this in a moment. Oh, actually, no, I'm going to go back. Yeah, so it posts it everywhere, and it knows from historical observation which are the best times for you for each of the platforms. And yeah, it posts it automatically to every platform that you've connected to at the time that its research has shown your audience is most active. You don't log into anything. You don't copy and paste. It just happens. For the more advanced folks in the room, publishing is handled via social media APIs. That just means application programming interface. It's just like a connector that connects one program to another so that they can work together in tandem, sending information back and forth. So now that we've covered the 4 phases, let's look at how you can actually build this.
Okay.
Actually, that's the end of the seminar. Goodbye. I have to go. No. All right.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there are 3 ways to do this or to set it up. The easy way is to use an all-in-one app that's designed to do it all for you. And then the middle ground one, which is a little bit more complex, as you'll see, is to connect tools together using that thing I mentioned, APIs. And then the third way, which is my personal preference, is to build it custom, which can be done so easily now thanks to AI with a thing called vibe coding, where you just tell the AI exactly what you wanted to create and it creates it. And it's definitely the most powerful, but it's also the most complex, although it doesn't have to be.
Nice.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about these apps is they start at $15 a month. I know people who are paying people hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars a month to do their social media when you don't have to. Okay. So in the simple path, using just one app, tools like Prepare, FeedHive, Repurpose, they do everything in one place. They do the research, the writing, the images, and the content. And like I say, they start at usually in the range of 15 to 29 a month. And on those ones, no technical qualities required or no technical knowledge required. Now, they're all slightly different. Okaya combines ChatGPT style writing with Canva-like design and scheduling. FeedHive specializes in content recycling. Its AI analyzes past performance and automatically recycles evergreen content. Story Chief's William AI can scrape your website and build a full content strategy from scratch. So it really depends on what you're looking for and what you need, which one you choose. And these days I use Manus if I want to compare anything. I just say, give me all the pluses and minuses and everything about these 5 tools, and it'll do it, and I can then make a good decision. In fact, I highly recommend Manus for that. It's the best research tool I've ever come across. All right. Now, there is a couple that a lot of people have heard of, which are Buffer and Hootsuite. But there's a couple of drawbacks here that they're heard of the most because they've been around the longest. But it doesn't mean they're the best, because Buffer is free for 3 channels. In other words, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn, or whatever your combination of channels might be. It's free for the first 3 channels. Then it's $10 a month for any additional channels. The AI assistant, it refines and repurposes your content, but it doesn't research or generate from scratch. It's mainly a scheduler, so it's limited compared to the other tools that we're looking at here. Now, Hootsuite, which is the granddaddy and been around the longest, very powerful, very good, but very expensive. It's $199 a month, which is like 5 times more than most of the others. Now, a couple of that I want to spotlight. There's one called Ramp Up Results. And what's interesting about Ramp Up Results is it combines social media automation with live SEO scoring. So it means your posts can also drive traffic because they're SEO optimized. And it's incredibly reasonably priced, $19 a month for 5,000 blog and social media posts per month.
What is SEO?
Search engine optimization. It's so that you can appear when people search for whatever you're targeting.
Got it.
So Ramp Up Results is a really good one for $19 a month. It's worth checking out. Now, there's a new one that has come on the scene that's getting a lot of excitement, and that's Blotato, because it was built by a solo creator who grew to 1.5 million followers with 0 team and 0 ads. And she's called Sabrina, and she grew herself a massive following just by building this tool and using it. And it's proof that the right automation tools can level the playing field for solo creators and small businesses. It shows what's possible when you combine smart tools with a clear strategy. It also has automation built in for connecting different tools together. Its content remixing capability, like turning 3 YouTube videos into a blog post, a LinkedIn update, and a tweet, is a standout feature for repurposing content at scale. And because it has automation tools built in, it bridges the gap between a do-it-yourself and the middle ground where we're going to be connecting lots of apps together. And it starts at $29 a month. This is the link, and it's my affiliate link, which just means that if you go there and you like it and you buy it, I get a small commission, but no obligation. So that's part 1, which is the kind of the ones that are done for you completely. Now, part 2, which is connecting your favorite tool for writing, your favorite tool for research, your favorite tool for image creation, your favorite tool for posting, and then connecting them all together to talk to each other and have this one go first, and then this one. And those are usually connected by tools like Make, N8N, or Zapier are the 3 most popular tools out there for connecting. And they have a monthly fee. It's not a lot. I think it's like 20 a month for each of them, although I think Zapier is more expensive these days. But that's where you want to get your hands dirty, and if you're not satisfied with the tools that the other ones in path 1 have chosen for you, and you have particular tools you really like, then this is the way you can go to connect them yourself. And think of it like building with Lego bricks, where each brick is a different AI tool. You connect them in a sequence. As I said, first research, then writing, then image, then posting. And these platforms like Make or N8N let you do it visually. So you can drag things around and say, connect this to this by dragging it with an arrow. Minimal coding needed. So it gives you the flexibility to pick the best tools for each job. And so that's the second way of going about it. This will cost you roughly 50 to 100 a month typically, because these are using APIs, and each of these tools has an API, and they charge for their usage. And a typical kind of using it a lot could cost you 50 to 100 a month, but it's still a lot less than paying somebody 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 or whatever to do it for you. So now we're going to move on to the most powerful, but also the most complex path, and that is build your own content, AI content machine. This is more for agencies and power users, or any businesses who really want to customize it, really, so it only does exactly what you want and it doesn't add any extra unnecessary functions. And what's different about this is that this is using what are called AI agents. And so there's a researcher agent, and he handles all the research. There's a writer agent, he handles all the writing, etc., etc. And the agents work in tandem and separately, and it's very powerful because you can design exactly what you want with no restrictions. It requires more setup, but it gives you complete control and the ability to scale without paying per post fees. Some of the other ones, where they do it for you, as you start to scale and get more and more posts and more followers and more interaction, they start charging you higher rates. So when you've got your own, you don't have that going on. So this is where you become the architect of your own AI content machine. And as I said, each agent has a defined role and tool set. And like here, it has a quality control agent that reviews every draft for hallucinations, brand voice, compliance, and policy violations before publishing. So this is definitely the one that works the best because it's trained the tightest and the hardest. Doesn't mean you can't do a lot with the second one, the second way, where you're just joining stuff together, but you've got a lot more power when you build it yourself, and it's a lot easier than you might think. But yeah, as I mentioned, it's a virtual content team. Each one of them does their own part. It's like having just that, a team, a marketing team for you, where each one is highly trained and highly excellent and does exactly what you tell it to do and nothing else. The main difference between them and having a real team is they work 24 hours a day, never take a day off, and cost a fraction of a human team. So it's like having an entire content department working for you around the clock. I'm going to give you an actual example, a real life example of one that I recently built for a particular client. Every month, the client was dictating his ideas. Then he was paying a virtual assistant to research and then generate the written content for the blog posts and for social media posts. Then having another virtual assistant generate all the graphics, the images, then post the blogs to very specific WordPress and Go high-level sites. And these are very specific in how they want to be interacted with, and then post the social media to multiple channels. And this was costing her a lot of time and quite a bit of money. So using the third approach, we built a tool. Actually, it was Manus. After being given the problem, Manus created the architecture for a custom application that would automate everything. And it was really simple to do. All I did is I said, hey, Manus, this is what the customer wants to do. How would you recommend the best way of doing it? And off he goes and comes back with this. For this particular situation, I recommend this. And then it said, do you want me to create the architecture for you, actually create the app? And I said, sure. And off it went and created the whole app. And it works beautifully.
Wow.
And this particular app utilized APIs from OpenAI, that's ChatGPT, Whisper for the transcriptions, Claude for the writing of the copy, because Claude writes much more beautiful copy than any of the other ones, Google Docs, so the person could look at everything that was being created and approve it or not. WordPress, Go High Level, Placid for the images, because it's a very good image creator that has a very nice, friendly API. This is personally my favorite approach because it's really fine-tuned to exactly what each person wants, because every company is different. But it doesn't mean you have to start here. So which path is right for you? If you're fairly new to this, start with an all-in-one app, because they're inexpensive enough, like $15 a month. You can get your feet wet and get it starting to work for you and find out what you like and maybe what you don't like. And then if you want more control, you can go into the no-code pipeline, which is using Make or N8N and connecting it to your favorite tools for the different areas. And then when you start to get bold, as you're starting to have wins with it, then you can go custom. And if you're building for clients, of course, you would go custom. You don't have to overthink this. If you're just getting started, pick one of the all-in-one apps, try it for a month. You can always upgrade your approach as you get more comfortable. The goal is to start somewhere. For the more advanced folks in the room, it's more like all-in-one app if you need speed to market and you have standard use cases. N8N or the Make pipeline, which is the middle one, if you need customization without engineering. Custom code if you're building a product to sell or need proprietary different functions and features. I just got a quick question. How many people here use WordPress for your websites? Robert?
Yeah,
Let me
too
just-
complicated.
Okay, that changed 2 weeks ago. Actually, no,
Oh,
a week ago, because I've been using WordPress since 2010, but it takes you have to learn a lot of stuff and it takes a lot of time and a lot of fiddling about. AI came to the rescue a week ago because they created a free plugin that sits in your WordPress site and it has access to every aspect of your site, right down to the deepest code level. And it connects to Claude, which is one of the major tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. And now what happens is I can just say to Claude, hey, I want this feature, build it. And off it goes. And a few seconds or minutes later, it says done. And it is. And I say, hey, there's this thing on my site. It's never worked. Can you fix it? Sure. Off it goes, fixes it. I built a whole site for a client this week, that very powerful site, and would have taken, I did it in a fraction of the time because of being able to just tell the AI to do it for me. And if WordPress, you know that it has shopping carts, and the famous one is WooCommerce, and this can get really complicated, and it doesn't do everything you want it to do. Now you just tell Claude, hey, build this extra function or these 10 extra functions that are not available in WooCommerce by itself or with plugins, and off it goes and does it. It's phenomenal. It's changed the whole game. And I'm going to be giving a whole seminar on this plugin. It's called NovaMira, and I'm in love with it because it's just absolutely just phenomenal. And I'm going to do I've already put together the seminar with Manus's help, and I'll be delivering that in a week or two. Yeah, it really is. Yeah. So now when you're in this rage, when you're building stuff for clients and you're getting really complex and really sophisticated and really specific, that's going to be more in the 30 to 100 a month. There are some people out there that are charging $5,000 a month. There's a lot of people that charge $1,000 a month, and there's some that charge $500 a month. But even that's a lot less than using an AI system to do it. And let me see. Okay, now here's the one thing AI still gets wrong. And this is improving all the time, but it can still get it. It doesn't know what happened in the world 5 minutes ago or how you feel about it. So sometimes it will write a wonderful post that is really inappropriate because of some terrible thing that's just happened across the world. So human judgment is a very key function. This is why at first, definitely you need to check what it's doing. And even when you get to the point where you're thoroughly happy with what it's doing, you should still check because you don't know what might have happened 5 minutes ago.
It makes sense.
Yeah. The simple thing is start now. Pick one platform to automate first using one of the free ones. And two, so you choose your tool, either one of the do-it-yourself or the one of the done-it-for-you apps, or the pipeline where you join different tools together, or the custom one, depending on what you're comfortable with and what you require. Set your brand voice, your topics, how you speak, how you communicate. And the more information you give it, the better. And the more context you give it, the better. Then review the first week of AI-generated content, and then approve, learn, and that's pretty much how I'd recommend going about it.
How much would it be for the later one, where you have the agent, where you work with the agents?
My favorite agents to work with is Manus, and Manus is $20 a month.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So you could, for third version you showed, you could do with Manus?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Oh.
Manus is the one that I use for it. Manus has a button at the bottom that says build application, and you click that button.
I see.
And it's absolutely brilliant. I've been using Manus now for building applications for more than 6 months, and it continually blows me away with what it can do and how it does it. Just as an example, I had a client who came to me with a project, and she described everything she wanted to do. It was a project for hospitals. So it had to be really tightly secure and HIPAA compliant, and had to have a lot of moving parts and bells and whistles. And we scoped it out with human developers to see what it would cost and how long it would take. And the human developers came back and said, it's going to take 5 developers and it's going to take 6 months. And it's going to cost you at the very low end, if you do it in Sri Lanka, it's going to cost $120,000. If you go higher than that, it's going to cost $500,000, maybe $1 million, because it's a very complex thing. Manus built it in an unbelievable fraction of that time and at an incredibly small fraction of the price. So when I quoted the price, the client was thrilled because they were expecting it to be 10 to 20 times more and take 10 times longer. So Manus is my new best friend.
Wow.
I see. Is there a way where someone can learn it? I remember I wanted to build a website with Manus and it didn't went so well. Our com level was not, I don't know, set up right.
Yeah, it's very important to know how to communicate with the machines. And it's something that gets better over time. The more you do it, the more it gets to know you and you get to know it and but the thing has always been the more context you can give, the better results you're going to get.
I would love to know if there is a step-by-step system one could use to train Manus different skills.
Oh, yeah. Manus has a thing that's funny enough is called skills. And it's just basically when you have it do a bunch of things and you think I might want to do that again at some time in the future, you say save it as a skill. And then in the future, you just call it up as a skill. Now, you could ask Manus. In fact, I would, if I was in your position, I would say to Manus, what is the best way for me to interact with you to get, and then I'd say specifically what the result is that I want, the context of the result, why I'm doing it, what it needs to do and not do, or be and not be. And then I'd say, okay, now build that into a skill.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Tony?
Yeah.
Hey, Tony, I got a question for you.
Sure.
I'm a podcaster.
Yeah.
And I've got a GPT that I can drop the finished script in, and it will produce 5 to 10 social media posts based on the script and the data I give it for each channel, tailored to each channel.
Good.
I then have to copy paste it into a tool called Metricool that is a calendar for scheduling. And you can schedule 2 weeks in advance, month in advance, or whatever. But still, it's into the API of my YouTube and all of that.
Yeah.
But it's $22 a month. But there's still labor, my time involved. Is there what you're talking about here? Can you set up an agent that will just go do it all? Can take that script, produce them, and go do it, and also give me analytics back?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be one of the custom ones. This one here, see, this example here was set up to automate everything. And it decided what would be the ideal tools to do that for this specific application. But yeah,
Manus decided, or
well, Manus recommended, and then it asked me what I thought, and I actually agreed with its recommendations because they were very smart.
and I use WordPress.
I could have disagreed,
Yeah.
and sometimes I do. Sometimes Manus will suggest something, and I'll say, "Hey, what if we did this? Wouldn't this be quicker and easier?" And Manus looks at it and says, "Yeah, actually, you're right. Let me rewrite that part." But,
What was the you? I didn't see the link for Manus posted here.
oh, okay. If you go up in the chat, you'll see one that says manus.im invitation. Do you see it?
No, I don't. I just see read AI meeting notes and
Okay, you must have opened your chat a little bit after that was posted, so I'm going to post it again. You should see it now, and that will give you 500 extra credits to play around with to see if you like it.
I must be in the wrong.
Yeah, just go in the meeting chat.
Here it is. Never mind. Also, I've used WordPress for years. Gosh, I want to learn about this NovaMira. That would
Oh.
save me so much time.
I know,
of
I can't.
changing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can automate it. You can say, now, every week makes these specific changes, or create this new content for me, or anything that you can do on a WordPress site, Claude can now do because of NovaMira.
Yeah, because I do books, and ideally I'd like to sell them on my website, but right now it's such a problem to set up payment system.
No longer.
Oh, okay. Boy, that could
That
really solve a problem.
I know that's the kind of stuff it specializes in. It can build complete shopping carts and payment systems and everything. And then you say, "Oh, this is a wonderful shopping cart you've built, but I'd like it also to do this kind of weird, bizarre thing." And off it does, and it builds, and it does it at the code level, so it can build
Yeah.
anything.
And then ideally, I'd like, once they purchase it, I'd like a message to go to something that would print a mailing label and the
Yeah,
postal code.
absolutely. There's no limit. It's, if you can imagine it, Claude with NovaMira can build it. That's why it's
Are
still blowing me away.
Are you using Claude Code?
I am.
Or what about the other one that's more of a, if you're not, it's Claude, what assistant? What is it?
Claude Coworker.
That's it. What's the difference?
Cowork is more for doing stuff on your home system. In other words, it plugs into your system and will do things like clean up files and open web pages for you, or do various things that are specific to your system.
Through your browser?
No,
Oh,
through your file system or whatever.
okay. All right.
I'm
All
going
right. Have you used it?
Yes, I have, but I don't have a lot of personal use for it. But the difference, I'm going to put Claude Code on the screen now, because Claude Code, basically, I just chat with it and say, I need X built or whatever it might be. Can
Yeah.
you fix that? And it says, no problem at all. And it says, let me read the CSS and strip out this and that. And it does anything I ask it to do. And it's just a conversation back and forth. It's connected through NovaMira. You see up there where it says NovaMira. And so I ask it to do something and it goes to my site. It's already connected to my site through NovaMira. And I've got it now set up for multiple sites because it's.
So tell me once again, how did you get NovaMira? And is this Claude Cowork or Claude Code?
This is Claude Code. I will show you NovaMira. Let me open up a different browser.
I just haven't been confident enough to go into Terminal to use Claude Code.
Well, Claude Code is it's built when you go into the desktop version of Claude, which is what this is. Up at the top, it'll have a section that says Claude and Claude Code. And when I click Claude Code, it takes me to this. And I know you said like a terminal, which is more like a command prompt. This is like a conversation, just like with any chatbot. So you don't have to know any kind of.
So with
code.
Claude Code, I'm not having to go in and connect it with Terminal?
No, not at all.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now I'm going to go to NovaMira to answer your and Bill Buckman's question. Where do you get NovaMira? Excuse me. You go to NovaMira AI. You download it for free. It's a plugin. You upload it to your WordPress site. And this video says what happens when AI gets full access to WordPress. It's a good video to watch. He's got a lot of other videos where he shows, here's me adding 5 new non-existent, never existed before functions to the shopping cart. It's brilliant.
Okay, great.
So it's no AI.
So, Tony, I've been using back and forth
Mhm.
Anthropic Claude, and then I'm using Google Notebook LM. But in Claude, I began to bump up against data limits, which I never bump up to in ChatGPT, and I quit using Claude. Has it
Well,
changed?
guess what? My next seminar is how to use Claude and Claude Code for free.
Oh,
That'll be in 2 weeks.
it became
I
very
see.
frustrating.
Yeah, I've written that seminar already because that has frustrated a lot of people. I've been
Now, I've created GPTs
sure,
in which I've taught OpenAI to write like I write.
right,
And stuff.
exactly.
And the instructions are got three pages in the knowledge, single spaced, and then 50 stories in the knowledge,
Yeah.
the way I write. And it's doing an amazing job now.
Yeah. So you hear that, Michael? It is possible, but it took him 3 pages of instructions and 50 of his samples of his writing.
But
And I'm working 3 years to get there. I started in OpenAI right after it came out in November 2022. And I now speak at conferences on AI assisted writing for storytelling.
Excellent.
But once you get there, if it will learn you, it's amazing.
That's right.
I haven't seen that in anything I tried because with Tony a long time. I tried, and now the last months I just work literally 10, 12 hours with Notebook because I don't want any knowledge from the web. I want just my stuff.
Are you talking about
And I want,
Notebook LM?
yeah,
Yeah.
you suggested that, Tony, to me,
Sure.
and that's what I do.
My GPTs don't use any information from the web unless I tell them to.
Yeah, I don't want
It's all
any.
mine. Yeah.
I did also 900 podcasts as a guest all over the world. So I do the same thing, but it's all my thing. And in podcast, there's no money. So that's why we all podcasters write books and all. We do all that to get something. But also today, the Alex Sanfilippo told me that he's really upset because now 56% of podcasts are from AI and all that stuff, which I am totally against because I think humans are the strongest. You see it here. You see it on this platform, how strong we humans do something very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And
Humans will always be to machines. They're
that's
just
why I come to
machines.
you.
Yeah.
That's why I come to you, Tony. And I recommend you to everybody. I said,
Thank
there's
you.
only one person that does AI humans, and that's Tony.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that does it human centric. Where I get it. When you talk, I'm neurodivergent. When you talk, I understand you.
Thank
When
you.
I speak on this, I tell the audience AI has no soul, and I
Mhm.
prove it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
show.
You know
So,
what? I had a conversation with ChatGPT a year ago just on the subject of did it feel it could ever become conscious? And after we went back and forth, and I gave it a lot of information that I had that it didn't have, it came to the correct conclusion. No, I will never, ever be able to become conscious. The most I can do is mimic consciousness. I can mimic it fairly well, but I can never be conscious. And it's right. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
hey, Tony, one of the key ways these days to try to combat the AI slop is live stream. Have you run across any good tools for doing that?
I haven't looked into that.
Okay.
Have you?
I haven't. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people are using something called OBS, but it's pretty clunky.
Oh, I hate OBS.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. No, actually, I just realized I do have an answer to your question. It's vMix. I love vMix.
how do you spell it?
VMIX. It's actually what I use when I'm live streaming. I forgot.
Yeah, I got to find something that my audience can interact with me as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah. Check out vMix. It's ridiculously, just as unintuitive as OBS is. vMix is very intuitive and very powerful, very friendly, does everything you can imagine.
I've got a podcast coming next Tuesday that everyone here may enjoy. And it's in the context of the 2 airmen that were shot down in Iran.
Oh, wow.
So I have a guy on who was in Vietnam and was a DJ, and he was the version of Robin Williams in Good Morning Vietnam, except he was Good Afternoon Vietnam. And he was overrun, everybody killed, he escapes, and it's his story of being on the run behind enemy lines.
Wow.
And we've got some of his old stuff from the show in Vietnam, 1968. It's pretty cool. It's fun. If I'm an old guy, so I get interested in this stuff.
Understood. By the way, Bill in the chat said that he liked the illustrations and diagrams. That was Manus as well, Bill.
Tony, could you email them or something? Because they were really good and informative.
Yeah, not if you put the request in the chat, but if you email me, actually, I'm going to go to the end of the, and I'll show you where you can request that. Here we go. If you send me an email at this address, trockcliffe@gmail.com, you can
Yeah.
request the slides and I'll send you the slides. And if you want a free AI coaching session, you can request that at the same time.
Tony, is that your studio?
It's one of them,
Yes.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it actually, there's a whole second studio over to the left and also back in front of it, and then another one in another room.
We had something similar, but I started using because everybody's all over the world and broke all that down. But that's impressive. You're
Yeah.
old school.
That was actually taken a couple of years ago. It's grown since then.
Oh my gosh.
I think there's like 12 monitors over there and the 7 in this studio here.
And this is at your location in Florida.
Yeah.
I got to stop in and see you someday.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
One question, Tony. Could I use Manus for all of that, or should I do it with Claude? I think Claude has skills as well, right?
Yeah, when you say all of that, can you give me more context?
The
Remember,
the
I'm an
agent,
AI.
yeah, the different agents, one for writing, one for research, and one for
Manus is particularly good at that. Claude could, I think, figure something similar. I haven't tried it, so I can't say for sure. My favorite use right now for Claude is for writing copy because it writes more beautifully, in my opinion.
yeah.
But also I love Claude Code because it connects to NovaMira, which makes me it's like having a $500 an hour WordPress developer at my beck and call 24/7 for $20 a month. It's like a no-brainer.
Okay, yeah. I have to figure out how to produce content and get it going.
Right. Bill asks a question. How do you actually add NovaMira as a plugin once downloaded? Are you familiar with WordPress, Bill? Yes. Okay. You know, when you go to the plugins page and you click add plugin, one of the options at the top of the page is upload plugin. And then you just go to your hard drive, wherever, which is usually in the download folder, and you just choose NovaMira, upload it, activate it, and off you go. There's 3 setup steps, which I show in my NovaMira webinar, but they're very simple. And it walks you through. It's just basically creating a password and turning a switch on, and then giving a piece of code to Claude, and then they connect. Yeah, and Darren mentions StreamYard, which is excellent, and Restream is very good for going to multiple different places. My goodness, someone has just arrived for the end of the seminar. Oh, yes, Bill, NovaMira gives you a kind of half a dozen lines of code, and you just copy and paste them. Or actually, you just click a button to copy, and then you paste them into Claude Code, and Claude says, oh, I see. And then they're connected. It just gives it all the information for Claude to connect, and it knows what to do and where to take it from there. So thank you guys very much for a very interactive and interesting session. And Michael says, thank you, AI Tony. Thank you, Michael. Okay, so unless there are any last minute questions, I'm going to put the spaceship into re-entry mode.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for such an amazing information. I'm sure it's a lot to process for everyone. And I just was wondering, where can we look at some of the examples of an actual content generate, such as videos? I know it's very advanced in its writing, but in the visual form of content creation, where can we see some examples of what it can do?
Most of these tools have on their websites, but YouTube is full of examples. It's like if you're interested in Blotato, for instance, you can just say Blotato into WordPress, into YouTube, and they'll show you all that kind of stuff.
Understood. Thank you. And one more question. Does it link with YouTube? I haven't seen that program as potential.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. YouTube
Yeah,
has an
okay.
API. Absolutely. It will do that, and it'll post for you on YouTube. In fact, Manus handles a lot of my posting these days. It does my edit notes for these webinars, and then it does the title, the description, the hashtags, and the thumbnail and the posting. So it saves me a lot of time because I used to have to do all that stuff manually.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So thank you again very much. So I'm going to, thank you, Patrick. And thank you, Bob. I'm just saying thank you to the people saying thank you in the chat. And I'm going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to close things down. So good evening, everybody, or good morning, wherever you are in the world.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye.